Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana, and today I'm going to take you on a walk through Fauna Inspiration and Fauna Friends. I believe this was the first in the nature-inspired series by Rebecca LeFebvre. This is the animal deck. I've had the deck in the center of my collection for some time and recently acquired the junior deck as well as the mini, and I'm really enjoying the mini cards. The mini cards are about the size of a Lenormand deck, and the cards in the center are more tarot sized. The junior deck is a little wider and a little longer because of the border. This is the Wild Unknown, so same width and just a little bit shorter. You can see here that the mini deck has square corners. The full version of the deck has large rounded corners, and we have a soft, very small rounded corner on the junior deck. The paper is different. The cards on the left are a matte, beautiful, natural, textured paper, almost like a recycled paper. And I really feel that this paper quality matches the intention of this deck. It's just such a beautiful pairing. And I imagine, I'm not 100% sure, and we will check that out. I'm going to have an interview, a live interview with Rebecca next Sunday on my channel, and I'll put the info up about that shortly as well too. A more protected kind of card. So this is a gorgeous rose petal finish. I would say it's about a 300, maybe just under 300 GSM. These cards are absolutely stunning. And this particular deck, the color is a little more saturated. And I know that tends to happen when you have this kind of paper. I had some business cards made with this kind of paper at one point, and it was surprising how much of the ink gets absorbed into the paper. Let's get started having a look at some of the images, and we can carry on with the differences in a moment. I'm going to read the description of Badger just because, just so you can get a flavor of the information on the back of the cards. Keyword is manifestation. Of all the fauna, Badger is one of the most misunderstood creatures. While believed to be fiercely protective of his abode, Badger is actually very docile, curious animal, a very docile, curious animal. Frequently found with his nose to the ground, Badger is adept at thriving in many environments. With focused intent, he encourages us to dig in and do our work. He teaches us about showing up and conscious participation. Badger is a tenacious tutor, a purveyor of manifestation, and a master of making life happen. So beautiful. On the backs of the deck in the center, it is exactly the same content, and you also have a element sign. And a little bit later in the video, I will sort the cards by element, and we'll have a look at the animals that are connected to earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And if I turn this one over, you can see that it does have a small border. I've really enjoyed, I've been carrying these ones around on my walks and enjoyed playing with these mini cards. The next card is a bat. And this is a good example. You can see, I hope in the camera, the saturation is a little bit more in this card here. And in the junior deck, we have the keyword on the front and on the back. These are the card backs. And so there's no extended description on the junior deck, nor is there a little white book. When I first got these cards, my intention was to purchase a bunch of these because these come at a really great price point. I believe they're $20 US. And I was thinking to get some of the flora and fauna cards for teacher gifts, and I'm still intending to do that because I feel that there's such they could be used in so many ways with kids for inspiration for drawing or writing or exploring. And these cards are really going to stand up because of the paper is such a beautiful quality. Love the keywords. And you'll notice that the keywords on the adult deck, if you want to call it that, the full deck, and the junior deck are a little bit different. So these are intended to be accessible to a younger audience. Bear. And just so you can see all three side by side. Sorry for the hands. Beaver, motivation. B, partnership and work. And I said earlier that the saturation seemed to be greater in this deck, but I'm looking over here and in the watercolor in the background, these colors are more saturated than these ones here, so it may vary from printing to printing or deck to deck. I have all of her decks and they're all have come with really high quality printing. There have been no issues with any of them. Oddly though, they're not delivered in alphabetical order. I put them in alphabetical order for the purpose of this video. So again, a different keyword, which makes perfect sense for the audience of the deck on the right. Okay, oops, I think I had that wrong. There we go. This is for bull. My intention was to put these all in the right order, but they might not be. So there you have bull. And then camel. And it must have been challenging to decide which cards to cut from the junior deck. But I think the idea of keeping the price point down for a junior deck is really a clever thing to do. And there's no reason why you couldn't use the full-size deck with kids either. I love the cicada card. Often resting for long periods at a time, cicada remains silent until she is ready. Upon her arrival, cicada is uninhibited and delighted to be alive, sharing her song willingly. She becomes the muse of many. Strong in her resolve and unabashedly vocal, cicada gifts us with her free spirit. A symbol of survival and endurance, she embodies longevity. Grounded by her persistence and driven by her heart, she is a compelling reminder of what we can achieve when we surrender to our calling. And I love that we have different species than we see in so many decks. Coral. Love the keyword. And then crab. Courage and explore. Dolphin. And also because of space, right? She couldn't have, even if she wanted to use Prayer of Heart, there wouldn't have been space on the card for that. Dragonfly. Eagle. So let me know if you're using this particular animal deck, what you think of it. I have done several different videos with different animal, oracle animal tarot decks, and I don't think I've included this one in a comparison video. It's really grown on me, and it has become one of my favorite animal oracles. flamingo, I love this keyword here. This is a species of bird I see all the time, pretty much every day. And I feel like there's so much magic, medicine, the messages, the potential messages from heron come in different ways, different days. And one of the things that has become really important to me is to not always get stuck on what is heron supposed to mean, or what is horse supposed to mean. Different days, in different areas, if you're traveling to different parts of the world, the energy of the horse may be different. And while we can refer to keywords on a deck or reference books or Google, I think we need to really trust and to allow ourselves to feel the energy of the animal or the plant. Hummingbird. The tiniest bird of her species, hummingbird beats her wings up to 200 times per second. With such excessive activity, she tires quickly. To recover, she settles into her favorite perching place and falls into a deep sleep. In her slumber, she sets the example and encourages us to rest and reflect. In profound contemplation and radiant connection, we transcend to discover divinity. Hummingbirds' iridescent feathers are dazzling, inspiring us to take in life's nectar. And I love that Rebecca has chosen somewhat of a different message. So often hummingbird, the key word is joy. And it's nice to have, like I was saying, to feel a different energy from a particular species. Koala. And I'd also be curious to know, if you are using the junior deck, if you have them, how have you been using them with children? I think they'd be amazing for child psychologists as well to work with. Reveal. And here we have the joy word, pleasure and play, with the energetic otter. Peacock, triumph. And again, I know so many different associations with peacock, and yet I'm perfectly okay with working with the message that comes through this particular deck. I love that Rebecca chose triumph, and her message is perhaps some new information or a new way to look at peacock for me. Pelican. Big. A darling of endearment, Pig loves companionship and has a strong inclination towards trust. His friendships are meaningful and his relationships bountiful. He is a well-known symbol of wealth and prosperity. yet warns against succumbing to the elusive trappings of the material world, a reminder that packages can be misleading. Pig encourages us to take review of our lives, spurning intemperance. He teaches us to consider and cherish each moment. I did use this deck, I believe, in my year ahead readings this year, and got such clear and clever messages in association with the tarot decks that I had chosen. Polar bear, puma, it's a really stunning raven card. I don't think it's come up in any of the readings that I have done. Salamander. Let's hope I put these sea creatures in. I tried to put everything in the same order, but I may have messed up here. Scorpion. Seahorse. Sea star. Interesting. We call these starfish where I live. Sea turtle. Serenity. Shark. I really like the color on that card. Snake. I just noticed both the moose and the stag are male. That would be interesting actually to go through the cards and see how many male and female of the species can be identified in the deck. Stingray. Swan. So we have turtle and sea turtle. So the land version of the animal and the water version of the animal. Whale. And the last one is wolf. So let's go and have a look at the earth cards. Here are the cards associated with earth. We have stag, bear, buffalo, wolf, moose, elephant, badger, koala, puma, rabbit, and mouse. So there's 11 or 12 cards associated with each element. And I'm just going to pull out the ones that I may have put in a different element and talk about that at the end. And here are the fauna associated with water. We have whale, manatee, shark, coral, crab, octopus, beaver, dolphin, penguin, seahorse, sea turtle, and sea star. And these fauna are associated with fire, horse, snake, bull, cardinal, dragonfly, wolf, firefly, bee, lion, peacock, and scorpion. The element of air is heron, cicada, eagle, chickadee, bat, squirrel, swan, and this one is hawk. We also have a flamingo, owl, and pelican. And with the element of ether, we have sea turtle, spider, snail, beaver, camel, frog, pig, polar bear, hummingbird, raccoon, raven, salamander. And I believe this is otter. This was in the element of water. I believe I called this beaver when we were going through it before. So otter is in the element of water and beaver is with spirit. On the back of the title card, Rebecca says, whether in birth or death, I have shared time, space, and energy with many souls as they have transitioned from one side to the other. These cards were conceived and crafted in honor of the spirits that have passed and those that continue to watch, guide, and connect us. May these fauna inspire and enlighten as they impart objectivity, strength, and clarity. This is their greatest wish. Avec la vie, with life, Rebecca LeFebvre. A few final musings and the box. This comes with the deck that was in the center, so the full-size 57 card deck. It's a 2-piece box, a beautiful box. It's one of the stand-up ones. Same box that comes with the Fauna Inspiration as well as the Fantastic Being. There is no box that is included with the junior deck or the mini deck. They come wrapped in a cello band. These cards are here because I want to open up some conversation for the comments below. All of these cards here, and there were a few others as well too, that could easily be placed with other elemental associations. And I know that this has come up in discussion with other decks as well too. So for example, over on the left, we have the Dragonfly, which I believe in the Kim Kranz deck is in the element of water, could easily be placed in the element of air. And here Rebecca has chosen to place it in the element of fire. So this is a really interesting association, associating it with its primordial, if you will, its mystical dragon, fiery energy. So let me know what you think about that. The puma, I could also easily see in the element of fire, being a fiery cat. And in this deck, I believe it's in earth, but that makes sense as well too, because I can hear the pads of the feet and the pounding and the running along the earth. And so I can work with either one of those. The firefly illuminates the night. It is mostly found in the air, and in this deck, I believe it's in the element of fire. So let me know where you would place nocturnal animals, where you would place bugs in general. You know, it's really depends on your association. And I just paused here because I'm thinking about, do nocturnal animals have a particular association? And when you are reading animal oracle cards with a tarot deck, I think for me there has to be some fluidity, because it depends on the tarot cards that come up around, and I will bring in associations as work with the reading. I think that's the power of the flexibility and working and reading intuitively with cards, and to not get stuck on these. And I'm pretty sure Rebecca's going to say the same thing, that we need to trust how we read the cards, and we need to trust what's coming up for us at any given time. The peacock, for me, my first go would be spirit. And here we have the peacock in the element of fire. So what is your association? She's got here with genuine grit and open spirit. And I know peacocks can be really fiery. I've seen them, the peacocks and the peahens fighting, and how they, yeah, so I get that. And a dolphin and whale I'm thinking I put here, yeah, these two are often associated with spirit as well too. And in this deck, they're placed in the element of water. Shark, I was thinking about the association with fear, and fear being connected to the root chakra. And maybe there would be a reason to connect this to the suit of pentacles and the suit of earth. And so these are all just kind of, I don't know, questions open for discussion. And I love kind of working with cards in this way. And I think what needs to come up in a reading based on the question, if the querent has asked a question or if you have asked a question, will come up. And then over here on the left, we have the bee and the cardinal. The cardinal is not a bird we see on the West Coast at all, so I'm really not familiar with its behavior. And it was placed in the element of fire with the keyword authenticity, and the bee also in the element of fire. The thing I was thinking about with bee is community. And if you were thinking with elemental associations, is there an element that you associate with community? Before I leave you, let's do a single card draw and leave with a message for today. I promised I'd show you how these cards shuffle. So beautiful. I love the sound that these cards make when you do the bridge. Yeah. I love this paper. I don't think I have any other decks with this kind of paper. All right, so let's pull one. Let's just go right here. Oh, coral. Community. So this is the community card. Remember I was talking about the bee? There is a weakness in arrogant independence. Wow, that's something to write down on the top of your journal page. My journal page. Forsaking one's community can lead to regrettable susceptibility. Coral teaches us to embrace each member of the collective to amplify our individual strength. What a beautiful message. In solidarity, we can find fortitude. Years of false criticism and self-doubt are defeated when we join together. Coral inspires us to lean upon the people we trust. In partnership, we cultivate reassurance. In collaboration, we are confident and prosperous. Wow. Those are great words to end with today. So thank you very much for joining me. Stay well, my friends. Namaste.